Good evening, everybody, and welcome to SKG Tier 4 Round 8 here in the Lusail International Circuit here in Qatar. Like I said, it is Round 8 of the season. It's coming to halfway point in the season here, or a little bit over at least. But yeah, here we are in qualifying here at Lusail. A very enjoyable track, I must say, for driving. Might not be the best track for overtaking or racing, with the long DRS straight we have along the main straight being our only DRS straight on the around the circuit. We have almost a full grid of 19 drivers, so that is lovely to see. That is what we want to see. Go ahead and grab the chat up, see what any of you fucking guys are saying, if anything anyway. Right, Josh says first, wow, special. Anyway, yes. Lusail, it is a, well, I'd say a very high downforce circuit, so probably a majority of our drivers will be running a bit more wing than last week's round Baku, and oh wow. Baku, what a race that was. That was indeed a very exciting one. I don't know if any of you caught what happened in the race, but yeah, we had GB Sanson on pole position, which I must say was a glorious moment. Unfortunately, he got a drive-through under a VSC or something, which unfortunately dropped him back. And yeah, it was very exciting come by the middle point of the lap. Well, not lap, by the race, as I say. We have cars that are starting laps. We have the two Haas cars that have just started. I think Smirky Lockett will be the first man to start a lap. Actually, is that an Alpine of... It is Kaku, yeah, that guy. In the Alpine, navigating through the first sector, he does a 30.3. I don't know what the good times around here, to be honest. I never really do any research before I go into this, into doing commentary. I didn't get home. I only got home, well, not too long ago actually, so if I do make a few mistakes, you may have to excuse me on that. The Alpine makes his way through the middle sector for what has been a very tidy lap so far. He's got the final sector just coming up now. With the, well, yeah, triple right-hander, which you can take flat out, as he runs wide there on the second part of that. Does he go down a gear for the penultimate corner? He doesn't, he stays in 6th, but then he shifts it, then he shifts back up to 7th. Interesting choice there from the Alpine. As he's out of the final corner now. There was the Haas that was Smirky Lockett behind, so we have a comparison time. It's a 22.0. What will the Haas do behind? He runs up to the line. He goes behind, actually. Goes behind the Alpine. So Smirky Lockett into P2. Only 4 tenths behind his teammate of Jehan. He slots into P2 as Kaneson goes fastest by 3 tenths. On a 21.7. There is a Aston Martin. Is that? That is not Wesker. That will be Adamako starting, I think, his lap. Or he might have just invalidated, actually. I think he invalidated. We had Max BNS go over the line in the Aston Martin. Aston Martin really looking for, hopefully, a good haul of points. They have been struggling in recent events for scoring points, so fingers crossed for Aston Martin that they can get a good result here, as the times are, well, getting faster and faster, as Zukazama, I hope I said that right, went quickest on a 21.7 and then beaten by Teen, and now beaten by Adrian in the Red Bull. Who's just moved up? Yeah, Wesker in the McLaren, the other McLaren, goes onto a 21.8. Josh Scott, no, you're not. I need to refresh my stream. My stream is like a minute behind. Oh my god. Right, there we go. Yao has just posted a setup in the chat. Incredible. Well, I'll make sure to use that for the race tonight. Or I've got 3 minutes of ads. Oof. Yao struggling through it there as there was a car passing the slow Mercedes we were watching just then. I think that was the Williams. He is coming into the pit lane. Who can we keep an eye on? We have NASCAR Freak. Having I think he had a DNF last time out. May be mistaken on that. As he is now in the Ferrari driving for the red team. What can he do? He goes up to P4. Nice lap from the American. Yao says, keep yourself safe, Panos. In the chat. You'd love to see. Mutual respect. As the other American of Kevin Cowers, he's in the kick salver, comes up to the line. He goes P9. P9 for the kick salver. Joins the other man of Jahan on a 22.2. Xfinity race engineer has joined. Oh my god. People are leaving and rejoining. I think. I don't know if we can get these guys back in. I think it was Gerv and Master Alf, I want to say. I hope I have these guys added because Gerv. See if we can get Master Alf. I don't know if I have him added. I think he's the one person I don't have added. Not too sure though. Yeah, we are at that point, middle of the session. Race engineer joined the lobby. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know who that. I mean, yeah, as long as he doesn't select a car, then we're all good. Because then he would take someone else's seat. Because I think I invited Gov back in. I don't have Master Alpha added, so if someone else can get him back in, that would be ideal. He is currently. Where is Master Alpha? He's currently P12. Cars coming out for their second runs, including this man, Keynes who had quite a funny moment, shall we say, last week, where he basically missed the corner and where did Keynes going? Meme was born. Unk is lost. Can confirm. As he comes over the line to start his second run of the session, he goes, yeah, very much onto the curb there on the outside of the circuit. Goes through the long right-hander of turn 1. There it is. We'll go on board for him with the Bulgarian on this lap. This first sector very much has a nice flow to it, but until you get to this section right here, double right-hander, quite easy to run over the inside here actually. I've invalidated quite a few times myself. Very too much on the inside. As he's now into the hairpin. He has done a purple middle sector. He's up on his time by 75 hundredths. Red Bull currently sitting P5 on the grid. And he boosts himself higher. He has a car ahead of him. That is an Aston Martin. A friend request by somebody. I will accept that in a second. As he's in 10th and 1.8 tenths up on his lap, so Keynes should jump up here from P5. It's around the corner, uses the last of his battery. Aston Martin takes an interesting line through the final corner there on the right hand side as Keynes uses the rest of his battery as he runs up to the. What the hell was that? So he goes P2 just behind his teammate and a tenth and a bit behind. So nice lap from him there. I'll get him. I don't know who that is on EA, but hopefully we can. Was that Master Alf? Maybe it was. Oh, there he is. Okay. Last week's pole sitter. Haven't said that for GB in, well, ever. I'm pretty sure. I don't think I've ever commentated on GB getting a pole position last week, like last time out in Baku. What can he do here? I thought he invalidated, but it just then jumped up about a second after he crossed the line. So he's currently sitting in P10 on a 22.2. 10th behind P9 man of Max BNS 7. So the last week's pole sitter. Currently on the bubble of being outside of the top 10. But still 7.5 minutes left in the session. So still plenty of time for the Brit to improve. Kevin Cowell just about to start his second run. We have Jay Hahn, he's up by 2/10, so as things stand, he would move up ahead of Kakarot, or Kakaros, as Adrian improves his time. Goes onto a 21.481 as, Zukazama beats him there. Goes ahead by a very, very fractional amount there, as there's a Racing Bulls crossing line there in the background. Who would that be? That would be Teen, I think. Would that be him improving? I don't know. But yeah, Teen over the line. Yeah, this man Williams currently sitting on pole position. Everyone is rooting for Kevin Cowell here in qualifying. Interesting. I know that we do need to keep an eye on. I bet 45. That's his age, bro. As, NASCAR Freak has just gone up there into third place. The American there. Wow. Nice lap from the Ferrari, who's been struggling with a bit of pace due to a new pedals or something to do with new equipment. That is his age, yeah. He is mid-40s, dude. As Kevin Cowell improves from, I think, what was P12 to P10. Gets a roar from the crowd. The crowd goes mild. So he's there in P10. Man, Adamako, his ego's over the line, goes P6. McLaren looking decent so far. They're currently sitting 6th and 9th as things stand. Both cars inside the top 10. Holy NASCAR, yeah. Insane lap from that man. As only 2 cars are yet to set a time. Finley and Gerv. Gerv, the man last week who was pretty much asking to be fired, or hinting at that he wanted to be fired, is still here, which you'd love to see. Gerv is a very, very quick driver. Unfortunately, didn't have the rub of the green last week in Azerbaijan. But with Championship leader Nout not even showing up here tonight after, well, extending his lead to what I think is at least 30-something points. Well, he can sleep. Okay, Kane's gonna win. Calling it first. Lucci's with the prediction of Kane's standing on the top step of the podium later on this evening. Only time will tell if his prediction will come to fruition. Master Alf is thankfully back in the lobby there here in the Williams. We are currently watching him navigate the final sector. Currently sitting P17 and slowest of the cars that have set a time. As the Williams comes round the final corner, and he will open the DRS now. And doesn't improve, unfortunately, for him, so he stays last place. As Gerv is now coming out on the circuit, as Finley is invalidated actually, so he will not set a representative time on this run. As who can we keep an eye on? Front, the top 11 are all in the pit lane. We have Smirky Lockett in the Haas. He's up by 3 and a bit tenths. What can the Haas do? Can he jump into the inside the top 10? He does. He jumps actually into P10. They're on a 21.9. His teammate only 2 tenths ahead on a 21.7, so Haas looking decent so far. Yeah, Samuel Austin, he's not on a lap. Max BNS improved by 7 tenths. What? As, yeah, the Aston Martin is up in that first sector, and apparently, well, Touchwood has done a purple middle sector. Or purple first sector, shall we say. As he's now navigating the middle sector, shall I say. As, wow, we are up to 30 viewers all of a sudden. Holy moly. That went from, like, 12 up to 30. Where do all your fucking guys come from? Jesus Christ. As Max BNS round the penultimate corner he goes. Light flashing on the Aston Martin. Cutie Young. Oh god. As the Aston Martin comes over the line, he improves by a tenth, 1.8 tenths, and goes up into P11. Oh, everyone's playing with names now in the chat. This is, oh god, that's fun. As pretty much everybody now coming out onto the circuit for their final runs. Finley and Jerv really need to get a lap here on the board, as they are the only two that have not actually got a lap on. Gerv is on a lap, so I think we'll keep an eye on the Racing Bulls as he finishes out his well, first and what will probably be only effort, unless he's fueled for another run here in qualifying. Guys, quick, where will Gerv go? And whoever gets the position right gets a prize. You have like 3 corners to type. It's around the final corner now. Lucchese says P6. Can... I swear to God, if he predicts this, that's going to be insane. Oh! Oh, Lucchese. Oh. So close, so close, so close. Good effort, good effort. As Gerv goes into P7. And Lucchese misses out on a prize, I'm afraid. As, yeah, final guys now starting their runs here in the session. Williams currently on provisional pole, just ahead of the man currently in P2 on the circuit, with a few cars now coming along this pit straight to, well, finish or start their laps. Master Alf has invalidated, so he will not see any improvement. Behind him, Finley. As Keynes goes to provisional pole on a 21.3, he improves by nearly 0.3 of a second and goes on to provisional pole. But what can this man do? He is up on his time. And what can his teammate do? Can his teammate deny him? Wesker has gone P4. Lovely lap from the McLaren there. Can NASCAR Freak respond to that? We will have to wait and see as he's navigating the middle sector. Adrian is up on his time, but I think so is the Williams. As he comes round the final corner, does the Williams with the white Max Verstappen helmet. Can he do the He can't. He does not improve. He stays in P2. What can Adrian do? Adrian takes pole here in Qatar for the time being anyway. What can people do behind? Teamed on his final run. He's got cars ahead of him, so might get a little bit of a benefit of a tow. What can the Racing Bulls do? He goes third. Lovely lap from the Dutchman. What can NASCAR Freak do? He stays P6, still a good result for him. Hastaz, after moving from Mercedes to Alpine, currently P10. Can he move up inside the top 10? He goes P5 there in the Alpine, and that is qualifying done. Apart from Samuel Austin, he's done for the day. So that's your qualifying session here in Qatar, and it really came alive there at the end. There we go then, ladies and gentlemen. Adrian, it's a Red Bull 1-2 here in Qatar with Teen in P3 there. Sukazama in P4 in the Williams, doing a great job for them. Hastaz, oh, excuse me. Hastaz going P5 there at the end. Secure Alpine a good starting position there. Haas, after having both cars inside the top 10, they've only got one, unfortunately, with Smoky Lockett starts there in P12. So yes, Wesker in... Oh. Right, let's get your predictions in the chat then, guys. Predictions, predictions, predictions. As I'm pretty sure it's a 29 lap race, I want to say. NASCAR P1, well, that'll be the day. If I was in charge, Adrian would have been getting back shots. What the fuck? NASCAR P, D, and F. Fair. I was just waiting on the guys to select their strategies and tyres. I'm pretty sure it is probably a two. I want to say it's a two-stop round here, but I don't know. I don't know. Tyre wear probably is stupid, and it's probably really low tyre wear or something. I don't know. Lucci's, what's the strategy? Burb says the one stop. Hard medium is probably goated, but safety car risk. Okay. So we'll just go with the assumption that it's going to be a one-stop race. So I reckon medium hard. Okay. The walls are... Oh my god. Lucci's sister once again getting a shout out. Interesting to see if anyone goes for the softs here off the start, or everyone goes for the mediums, or maybe even a couple of hard runners. That is what we will just have to wait and see when our guys get ready to go, which probably shouldn't be long. Come on, guys! I'd hope they're readying up now, but like, especially, it's been longer than I expected. Ah, here we go then. Lights now coming on here in Qatar. And we are underway here for SKG Tier 4 Round 8 here in Qatar. The front guy of Adrian goes for the hard tyres, and a few guys have gone for the hards, but Adrian has opted for the hards as there's a McLaren off there is the bit off into the wall already. There is unfortunately Adamako, and unfortunately for him he's already got damage. Kevin Cow, oh no! It's over. Kevin Cow has unfortunately had an incident and he's got damage. I think he has on the front wing. No, yes he does on the right hand side. Uchi says GG's. He's placed all his bets on the Kevin Cow, and unfortunately it's not worked out for him as Kevin now down to last. Has had an incident. He's got down to last. There has been a few incidents here at the start. It's three wide through the hairpin. Between Gurb and Smirky Locker. That was something and a half. Up at the front, Kainsen has taken the lead from Adrian. Obviously going for that hard tyres, he will be slower off the start. And yeah, Kainsen already pulling a second and over a gap. How is NASCAR P4? Wow, he is at a shocker of a start actually. NASCAR Freak has fallen down. I think was what was like P6 or 7 I want to say. As there's a Haas and a Aston Martin banging and bashing. As this, cars with damage, unfortunately, they are just limping round to the pit lane. Kainsen sets the fast lap of the race. We have this little gaggle at the back here. Probably a majority of these guys will be pitting. Yeah, those guys pit. So Kevin into the pit lane, as well as Smirky Lockett. Adamako will also come into the pit lane, so yeah. Few people been in the walls. Here on lap 1, as up at the front, Kainsen extending his gap to 1.7 seconds here on lap 2. So he's been able to use his tyres to his advantage. As the cars now all following the second Red Bull of Adrian. See there as they wind their way through the very nice middle sector to drive. I must say I do enjoy this the middle sector around here. And the first sector. As we've got GB Sanson behind the Alpine of Kakarus. He runs wide. I think that probably was the dirty air just affecting the Ferrari. As his yellow flag out, that is a Haas of Smirky Lockett. He's seemingly gone off. Yes, he has. So, unfortunately, the Haas struggling there. Speaking of struggling, I think Adrian, obviously he's on the hard tyres, but still dropping like a stone. But the Williams goes round the outside of turn 1 and just, well, 99 Adrian. What a move there from the Williams. Whew. God damn, that was a move and a half there from Tsukazama, as he now goes chasing after Kainsen. And it is now Teen's turn to deal with the slower Red Bull. As pretty much everyone, apart from the front guys now getting away from each other. There is about a second gap from Adrian to Zukazuma, and he is, or Zukazama, should we say? Yeah, gap's currently stabilizing up at the front. Gap, second behind as makes his own track there. As I've got a 2-minute long ad. Tragic. As Kainsen sets the fast lap of the race, but is then beaten by the Williams. As Adrian having to go defensive, as Teen is now coming round his outside. Will Teen be able to do exactly what Zukazama did? And yes, he does. The Racing Bull's now up into P3. And away he goes. Can he now get chased down the Williams and get P2 and maybe even try and catch up to the race leader Kainsen? Still holding a 1.6, 1.7 second gap to the guy in P2. As the two Aston Martins are swapping position there. Max getting past Samuel Austin. As what has happened to Teen, as Zukazuma's had an incident. He is now down to third, and the gap up the front is now nearly 3 seconds from Kainsen to Teen. So Kainsen now all of a sudden looking at a 2.5 second gap. Something must have happened there to the Williams, as he's now 1.5 seconds off the second place man now of the Racing Bulls. He's behind Jay Hahn. He is behind Adrian. But with Adrian having the DRS of the Williams, that he might now repass. DRS opens there. See the rear wing flap open. And it'd be an easy slam dunk move, as in the background, Wesker going to try around the outside of Jehan. Cannot get it done, unlike the few other guys. He opts to stay in behind, stay in P6 for the time being, as Tubbs Toaster and NASCAR Freak, well, NASCAR Freak actually does come into the pit lane. He's getting his wing changed, as well as going onto a set of hard tyres, as well as Samuel Austin. So yeah, people unfortunately having the damage from, I'm guessing, a separate incident to our lap 1 collision. As we're watching the last week's pole sitter in Azerbaijan. Currently sitting in P8, he's got Gerv directly behind him. Man who is, well, yeah, very, very close in the championship fight. Well, not close, but he's there and thereabouts. He's not out of it yet, so he's technically in contention. There was a yellow flag out for somebody down at this little back group, so not sure who that was. So disregard that. As we are about to start lap 6 here in Lusail. As will the Williams go to pass the Red Bull back again. They're riding on board with him. He's closing, he's closing. Can he go for the move? Looks like he will send one up the inside. As he misses the apex, he's going to run Adrian a little bit wide there and does bump him a tiny bit, but nothing too bad. Yeah, a little bit, well, I want to say clumsy, but not the cleanest overtake. But you got it done nonetheless. Williams back up into P3, and now goes chasing after Teen, who has not really been able to close the gap down to Keyneston, who still leads by 2.5 seconds. He is looking very comfortable here on lap 6, as Master Alf picks up the first time penalty of the race. As one thing it is very easy to do here is get some warnings. As we say that, Smirky Lockett does exactly what I said, and he gets a warning. He is down in last, unfortunately. As Keyneston already looking at a 3-second lead. He is flying here this evening. Red Bull really is giving him wings. Samuel Austin gets the time penalty. Will there be a move here for what is P6 in the race? Found ahead, having a DRS, but well, it's all checkmate. As in the background, is that Finley going for a move on GB Sanson? Yes, it is. Finley in the Mercedes, up the inside of the Ferrari. Ferrari holds it around the outside. He does. A little bit of wheel banging there, out of turn 2, turn 1, I want to say actually. And GB holds his position there in P9. Finley having to stay behind for the time being, and we'll try again next lap possibly. Well, that's race over. I'm not watching the Bagger Olympics. GG Keyneston on the win. You never know, but you never know, QT Young. Things might change. Things might change. As yeah, the gap is now 3 seconds up at the front. So the Bulgarian currently leading the Dutchman. Looking very, very comfortable. As GB has almost got outside the DRS of Finley. And Master Alpha maybe may even get here on the in on the action. And will the Williams go for a move here on the Mercedes? No, he does not. He's too far behind. He is one of the guys that did start on the hard tyres along with Adrian and Tubbs Toaster. As there is a gap now opening up for our top 5, as Jehan almost a second clear of Wesker. eye on that gap as, yeah, if the front guys can escape the DRS, it will yeah. Oh, my brain. Skakoros gets a time penalty, so that's the 4th penalty of the race, and we're only on lap 8, still 21 laps. Oh my god, 21 laps to go. Oh. As Max Beardes gets a penalty, so the 5th penalty of the race. Dropping like flies. And the gap now extending to 3.5 seconds up at the front. Keynes just, well, looking so comfortable here. As GB Sanson, he's decided to come into the pit lane. He's going to go for the undercut on the guys ahead of him. So interesting how the undercut works here. He's looking to go 20 laps on that set of hard tyres. Can we get a safety car? This shit is boring. This shit is boring. I agree. Like, there's not much happening. This kind of track is shit for racing, I'm going to be honest. Fun to drive, but it's not not the best for racing. This gap is almost 4 seconds, for God's sake. Someone calls a safety car. Please. MotoGP. That is very true, yeah. I suppose it is a MotoGP track, isn't it? It was MotoGP before it even fucking came to F1. Yeah. That is very true. Adrian running a little bit wide there. In the background. Spinley is another one to pick up a penalty. So start lap 10 of 29. 19 to go, well 20 to go I suppose. And the gap now is 4 seconds to Keynesen. Fun. As Hastaz has decided that he is now pulling the trigger, he's going to probably respond to GB Sanson's undercut. GB being behind Tubbs Toaster, who's on a old set of hard tyres as he's started the race on them. That should be with the DRS. Should easily get ahead of Hastaz. Tubbs Toaster moved off the racing line. And the Ferrari easily swoops around the outside of the Mercedes. Gets up what is into P12, but that will all cycle through when our guys decide to make their pit stops. That's the gap over 4 seconds now. From Keynesen to Teen. The gap coming down a little bit. Keynesen stays out. Teen does stay out. Will anyone pit? Ah, here we go. Zokazama. He will pit from what was 3rd place. So then one of our front 3 group has decided that he's pulling the trigger now. Should easily, comfortably get out ahead of GB Sanson, who came in, well, 2 laps ago. He teleports his way out of the pit lane. And he's onto a set of hard tyres. And GB just coming over the line now, so he's managed to not be able to, well, has he managed to undercut Gerv? No, he hasn't actually, so the undercut really hasn't worked for the Ferrari, as Gerv was already ahead of GB. So maybe the undercut not really being that powerful here around Qatar. Hastaz picks up a penalty. He has gone onto a set of mediums, interestingly enough. Did he? Ah, he's going. So Hastaz is now committing to a 2-stop, which is maybe a mistake, for maybe the game put him on the wrong tyres, but that is interesting choice, we shall say. As Keynesen is actually about to lap. It's Murky Lockett here on lap 12. Oh lord. as Teen now comes into pit lane, the man that was sitting in P2. We'll keep an eye on the progress of Tsukazama, as he's the man that Teen was racing for what was second place. So we'll see where the Williams comes out, or where the Racing Bulls comes out in comparison to the Williams. As I think he might get ahead of the Racing Bulls. It's going to be close, but the Racing Bull stays in P2 here. And well, yeah, the undercut really isn't as powerful as it is around some tracks, as Teen emerges back ahead of the Williams, he's going to go for a move here up at the inside. Oh my goodness me! That was a very risky move for the Williams. A little bit impatience there, maybe. But yeah, try to move up the inside of the double right-hander in the first sector, and yeah, funnily enough, didn't get the move done. And yeah, almost had a half spin for his efforts, so... as Smoky Lockett picks up another time penalty. And it should be an easy move now for the Williams as he goes round the outside of the circuit and gets up into... Oh, what's happened to somebody? Is that Haas? There's a Haas of Smoky Lockett, unfortunately, having pretty much a half spin. Yeah, this race is kind of dead, gotta be honest. Apart from the occasional two-car battle. Gerv ahead of Jehan as Smoky Lockett speeds into the pit lane and retires from the session. Why couldn't you have done that on track and caused a safety car? Yeah. As all team picks up a time penalty. Currently fighting for what will probably be second place when guys ahead of him come into the pit lane. So that will very much hamper his efforts. As yellow flag is out for forever the hell reason, and we completely missed it because, well, not much has really been happening. But Keysen did pit and is still about a second and a half ahead of the group of Teen and Tsukazama. As Topsos picks up a time penalty. So yeah, people are definitely not immune to getting 3 warnings there. As we've seen a good amount of penalties. We'll just take a look at the penalties here. We have Master Alpha on 6 seconds, Finley on 3 seconds, 13 crucially on having 3 seconds. That will not help him at all. Kakaros, or whatever, having 6 seconds. Hastaz having 3 seconds as well as Tubbs Toaster, Max BNS, and Samuel Austin. All of the guys with pens. And we'll get the chat back up, shall we? And my phone crashed. Lovely. As Kakaros gets his, I think that was his 3rd penalty of the race. Just double check that. Yeah, he's on 9 seconds now, so he's really been exceeding track limits more than he should have. I thought that was going to be another retirement. As Finley decides he is now going to come into the pit lane. Samuel Austin picks up a penalty. As there is a change of position. Here we go then. We have a little bit of action going on. With Kakaros getting past GB Sanson. And in the background, NASCAR Freak, is it? No, or is it him just getting past someone that's pitting? I think it's just him getting past someone that's pitting. Oh, this race is really hasn't been the one. Apart from gap 13th. This little gap between GB and Kakaros. That was Teen Tsukuzama, I suppose. 3 gaps inside a second. Here on lap 16. Still another 14 laps to go, unfortunately. Hopefully we have a safety car. That'd be nice. Really spice things up a bit. Saying that, Teen is quite close here to the back of the Williams, so maybe he might get a move done going into turn 1 as he has the DRS wide open now. Can he get the speed? I don't think he will have the speed to get past the Williams this time. So he stays in 5th place with his teammate Gerv closing in actually. Gerv on the 1 lap older hard tyres than his teammate, so possibly will feel the tyre wear a bit more coming when we get to the end of the race. As Kakaros gets another penalty, so that's him now on 12 seconds of penalties. He's really been struggling with the track limits. As Adrian is still out on circulating, probably should see him pit probably in the next few laps. As he pits now actually, so there we go. Race leader Adrian comes into the pit lane off his hard tyres, going to go onto a set of mediums to finish the race. As we have the 2 Williams lining up here. Will this give an opportunity to Teen? As Master Alf comes into the pit lane, he's been doing a good job there. What was running in 3rd place. As Adrian now will filter back out a bit further down. I think he should have. Will he emerge ahead of the McLaren? I don't know. I think he will, but he will just be behind McLaren and ahead of the Alpine of Kakaros, who does have that 12 seconds worth of penalties. So yeah, he's really going to be hampered and lose a few positions there. Come the end of the race, as Master Elf is passed by Finley. Kevin Cowles decided that he's going to come in for a second pit stop. Interesting. He's already done. Well, he pitted lap 2 anyway, didn't he? Yes, he did. End of lap 1. Yes, I remember that now. So Adrian now on his fresh mediums. Let's see the gap to leader. He's under 10 seconds away actually from the race lead, so Adrian may put in a shift here. You never know, he may even be on for a podium. Never know. This might be the thing to watch now for the remaining 11 laps. We'll see if Adrian can get the pace up and, yeah, manage his tyres while he's at it too. As, oof. Poor Kakaoros, he's really been struggling with track limits. That should now be 15 seconds for the Alpine. Poor man is really really going through it. As Adrian will get the move done easily on Wesker. Or Veska, however you pronounce it. And he now has about 3 and a bit seconds to go and chase after the Haas of Jehan, who's on 8-lap-old hards, as GB has gone onto the softs, as Kakaoros has got another penalty. How has he got a penalty that soon after his other one? That was like 3 corners. As, okay, as he just cuts the... Oh, wow. That was... something. As this man is really testing whether or not he can be disqualified here. Wow. Look at how many penalties he has now. 18 seconds. Good lord. It's almost a pit stop in terms of penalties he has. Wow. As Adrian has closed the gap down from what was about nearly 3 seconds to nearly under a second. So Adrian flying, but you can expect that on his fresh mediums. As he does set the fast lap of the race, you kind of expected that. Front, Teen has managed to get ahead of Tsukazama, but with Teen's 3 seconds of penalties, well, he will fall back down, and maybe even fall back down behind Gerv, with Gerv being nearly within a second of the Williams there in P3. And Adrian now comfortably on the back of the Haas, as NASCAR Freak has come into the pit lane. There's a little battle between Hastaz and Max BNS. Max being passed by Hastaz there. Turn 1 GB behind on his softs. Interesting to go onto the soft tyres. As yeah, NASCAR Freak should emerge ahead of Kevin Cowan. No, he does not. So NASCAR Freak down to P17 on a new set of hard tyres, which will comfortably take him to the end, but really not in a good position for Ferrari. Neither Ferrari scoring any points here this afternoon as things stand, with Kakaoros having his 21 seconds of penalties. Oh, this guy. Ow. How do you get 21 seconds? 24 seconds. Oh, he's got another penalty while I wasn't even. Oh, wow. This guy will get disqualified, I swear to God. Good lord. Anyway, Tsukazama is now back up into P2, and he's got now Gerv for company, so this has now become a, well, two-way fight, I suppose, with a Teen having his penalty, unfortunately. Keyneson's leading, well, comfortably again by 2.5 seconds. And it's now Adrian. We'll see if he can catch up to this little gap and maybe even get a podium out of it. He should probably get ahead of Teen by the end of the race if he can use his pace. So Samuel Austin retires in the pit lane. Oh. Oh, as Adrian's picked up a penalty, so that could be that. But he hasn't really been gaining that much time on the 4 cars ahead of him. How is this guy getting penalties this quick? He's on 27. Oh, he's literally about to be on 30 seconds. What is going on? I really don't know how he's getting this many penalties. I know it's a tough track for track limits, but 27 seconds. I'm just going to ride aboard with him. I just want to see. I want to witness. He's currently following Wesker. He will easily fall out of the points. Actually, he might actually... Well... I was behind 17 seconds and another 10 seconds, so... Yeah, this is where he's going to be really sensible now while riding on board with him as... Oof. So one warning in that, definitely. Anyway. 2 racing balls, still following the lone Williams inside our top 10. No, never mind, Master Alpha is inside the top 10, never mind. Scratch that. As will team be able to get a move here on the Williams. He is gaining, but I don't think he'll be not close enough to go for a move here on this lap. As all, maybe he's trying to go for thinking of an outside move. There is a turn 2, but definitely not a place to go for a move, especially on your teammate. As there we go. Kakaros gets disqualified here on lap 23. And this is going to cause any sort of safety car, actually. No. It's not. There we go. That's the first time I've ever seen anyone DSQ'd. Like, in years. Years. Oh my god. That is insane. Fair play to you, Kakaros, but like not in a good way. Okay. Interestingly, Adrian is almost, well, he should be within a second, as he is now, of our front, well, Keynes is gone, so this is our kind of our front 3. As Teens picks up, Teens picks up another penalty. That's 6 seconds for the first racing balls here in this race. As he's still following the Williams. As Kakaros shows himself the door. Oh, that is. You got to laugh about it. Surely you can't. That's just funny. Very, very funny. So, as things stand, it is currently a fight for second place between Zokozama and Gerv. So, with the other 2 guys in this little group having penalties, and Gerv and Zokozama staying clean. Has picking up a penalty there. As the gap extending to over 4 seconds again, up with Keynes. Keynes just he's been very much in control of this race. As Teen looks like he will get the move done here on the Williams. As there was a little bit of a love tap there before they got to turn 1. So now Teen with 6 seconds. I don't know if it'll be possible for him to extend a 6-second gap to Zokozama, but you never know what might happen. As my thingy has decided that he wants to... There we go. Yellow flag out. Who is that? There's... Yeah, what? I don't know who that was for. The little yellow flag, including our front group, so I thought that was something dramatic happening, but no, the game is just lying to us, I'm afraid. Interestingly enough, Teen has actually extended the gap to over a second. He needs 5 more, well, yeah, a few more of them if he wants to stay ahead of the Williams, but we are only on lap 26, so there's only 4 laps remaining here in this race. Adrian has fallen off the back of this group, so he must have had a mare, or his tyres just have kind of died now, I'm afraid, possibly for the second Red Bull. The other Red Bull comfortably leading by 4 seconds here. As I've almost got the stream copyrighted. Oh dear, that would have been bad. Unless I do it, but on purpose. Decisions, decisions, decisions. And interestingly enough, GB Sanson is still going around on his soft tyres. So he might make it to the end, or get a puncture by the end of this race, but his tyres must not be feeling good at all. So, we're rooting for him to not get a puncture, but we have to wait and see on that. Keen has extended his gap to over a second, so Zukazama will not have DRS here. The Gurv does not have the speed or the, as all GB Sanson picks up his first time penalty of the race. So maybe his soft's not providing him the grip on the corner exit. 89% GB, he's going to blow a tyre. Oh dear. As it is, oh, there's a Ferrari off. As, yep, GB Sanson, unfortunately, has a puncture. Oh no. This is what we're talking about. He does get a puncture, I'm afraid, and will probably fall to the back of the field, I'm afraid, and it may even be a retirement for the Ferrari. That is unfortunate for him. GB Sanson types in the chat, shit game, while he is limping it back to the pit lane. And in he comes. As he's actually he's going to be lapped here by Keynes, so GB will now be a lap down. After taking pole last week, mind you, is now a lap down. Oh no. Anyway, Zukazama being under pressure from Gurv as we started the penultimate lap here in Qatar. Keen has extended his gap to, well, over 1.5 seconds, but it's really not enough to keep that second place. He will fall down to probably, yeah, he will fall down to P4. So the fight for second place is still on between Zukazama and Gurv. There's going to be one more opportunity for the Racing Bulls to get past the Williams and gain Racing Bulls a few extra points, and gain for him a few extra points in the championship fight, to getting towards Naut, who isn't even here tonight. Realistically, he doesn't need to be. He almost is 30-something points ahead of his nearest contender, which I'm pretty sure is, I want to say Hastaz. I think it's Hastaz. As Master Alf picks up another time penalty. So yeah, time penalties is coming thick and fast. Asked if I wanted to change strat. I selected pit lap 20 for hards, pit lap 19 to give me softs. Oh no. As all the Williams has gone off there, and makes a little bit of an unsafe rejoin as he now goes off. Oh, he's got a puncture! Zukazama's got a puncture on the hards! Unbelievable! And he's going to probably speed into the pit lane here, and is it going to be a retirement for the Williams? And all of a sudden, the complexion of this race has just been swung wide open as Gurv has now been passed by, as yeah, Zukazama retires after what was such a good race for the Williams. And Gurv, who's on one lap older hard than the Williams. May even get a puncture here on this final lap. We'll see how he goes. But Keynton is on his final lap. And you have to say, hopefully he doesn't get a puncture. I mean, that would spice it up a bit. Yeah, Keynton is now in our final sector as Team gets another time penalty. That's 9 seconds for him. So Adrian will... Well, it should be a Red Bull 1-2 here. Unless things go massive... Oh, no, it won't actually be because Gerv is there, actually. I don't know why I thought Gerv got a puncture and he dropped off the back, but no, he didn't. Let's go up to this man. Well, well, well. What can we say? We can't say much because he really hasn't been doing much here, apart from leading pretty much every single lap and winning here in Qatar. He wins here in round 8. And in the background, Teen will come over the line in second place, but he will not finish there. It should be Gerv. Yes, it is Gerv getting up there into second place. He splits the two Red Bulls. GB Sanderson takes the fast lap of the race, so there you go. He takes something away from it. Wesker will finish in P5. Good points for McLaren there. In the background, Jehan will finish in P6. And two little cars coming across the line there are Finley and Master Alf. And I'm sure Finley will jump ahead of Master Alf, and yes, he does. Master Alf falling down after picking up a few seconds of penalties, I'm afraid. But not as much as Kakoros. That is a story and a half. But yeah, Hastaz finishes in P9. He loses points to Gerv. And Adamaka will finish in P10 to round out our points positions. As Kevin Cow gets ahead? No, he will not. And every Max BNS to be the final man over the line. And there we go. That is our race done here in Qatar. And wow, that was incredibly boring. No offense to any of our drivers. Just, it really was not that much of a good race, I'm afraid. What can you do? Apart from do your best. That's what our drivers did. They did their best. And unfortunately, it worked for some people and it didn't for others. There we go. Both Red Bulls on the podium, along with the pink Racing Bulls outfit of Gerv. So yeah, Keynton wins here in Qatar from Gerv, and Adrian rounds out our top 3. Teen, well yeah, it's all Red Bull sponsored top 4 there with Wesker in P5, Jehan finishing in P6, Finley in P7, Master Alpha in P8, Hastaz in P9, Adamako P10, Kevin Cow in P11, NASCAR Freak in P12, Max BNS in P13, GB Sanson, after getting the puncture out in the lap 26, I want to say, finishes in P14, but does get fastest lap. And then Tubbs Toaster will be our final runner, but then we have the DNFs of Zukazama, Samuel Austin, Smirky Locket, and the DSQ of Kakoros. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is that. Race has finished, and that is going to be that for our stream here this evening. I think we had a peak viewership of 31 people, for God's sake. I mean, that's a lot of people. A lot of people. Anyway, I will say goodbye for what has been a quite, well, fun one, I say. As, oh, we have this stream, this thing to do. But yeah, I will catch you guys on Saturday afternoon or Saturday evening, along with GB Sanson in the commentary box for Tier 1, but until then you will have Tier 3 tomorrow at 8 PM and Tier 2 at 5 PM on Saturday. But until then, I've been Oliver Lois, and goodbye.